Este te vende... Vale. Espada. Que hace buen daño, la verdad es que joder. Espada resistente, espada de plata. 29.33. A ver. Y puedo ponerle cositas aquí, ¿verdad? Sí, aquí puedo poner cositas. Armadura más 3. Daño 6. ¿Te imaginas que me pongo esto aquí y ya cagué? O sea, ya cagaron. Uy, perdón. Y ya cagaron todo. O sea, el daño más 6 con la espada que hace un máximo de 33. No, no, hombre. La edad de Cristo. Hace un daño celestial. La puta madre. Pipam.
You wanted to discuss something?
Sí. Tengo la cinta de Trish.
I've got Triss's bandana.
Have you learned anything?
Triss was here. Letho forced her to teleport.
Why would he? There are easier ways to travel.
2 of Letho's comrades, probably those responsible for Demoven's death, were hiding among the Scoia'tael. When it became evident in Flotsam that the Kingslayer wanted to dispose of Yorvith, the Scoia'tael leader gave the order to eliminate them. Letho had to reach the unit before the Elven messengers did. He could only do that by teleporting.
I assumed that Triss wanted to teleport to me, but she missed the mark and they ended up in the gullies. What happened next?
Letho left her in a gully, wounded. He probably thought that she'd diversify the local trolls' diet. He himself went to see the elves and massacred the unit with his comrades. They're somewhere on the other side of the fog.
What about Triss?
She escaped from the troll. Everything suggests she's somewhere in the area.
I can assure you she is not in Vergen.
She has to be here. Locate her.
I'll try, but it will take some time. Have you learned anything else?
Ay, Dios, es que no confío en Filipa, tío. Es que ahora me da conflicto porque no confío en Filipa. Es como, no, sí, me llevará algún tiempo encontrarla y demás. A ver, sí es verdad que el estado de Saskia es prioridad, pero algo me dice que muy por la labor no va a estar esta de buscar a Trishu. Voy a guardarme la información para mí, porque no me fío, tío. No me fío. A lo mejor la estoy cagando. A lo mejor la estoy cagando durísimo, pero prefiero no.
Nothing worth mentioning.
You're lying. There is something else.
Ay,
Stay out of my head.
puta.
I'm sorry. I acted on instinct. In a few hours I should know what happened to Triss. What's going on out there?
Let's see.
What's going on?
The peasants want to take pitchforks to King Demoven's son.
Why?
¿Qué?
The Dragon Slayer's servant is spreading rumors that Stennis poisoned Saskia. The commoners are in an uproar. They want to dispense justice.
Where's the prince?
Barricaded himself in his room, guarded by nobles. For the moment, the peasants are still respectful, but they are feverish. A fight is inevitable. Help us out. The situation is dire. I'm going to inform the other nobles.
Hostia, tremenda putada. Hostia. El siervo de Saskia puede ser el tuerto.
I'm not sure if Prince Stennis is guilty, but I wouldn't be surprised if he was involved.
Power. The object of dark desire.
Let's go, before this dark desire becomes too strong and someone gets hurt.
You go. I'll locate Triss. And should anything happen to Prince Stennis, remember, we need his blood.
I remember.
Ya. Me acuerdo, desgraciadamente.
2000 años más tarde.
Princes do
Pero
Serfs and lords will never be on the same above their station.
ya quiero.
Geralt! It's good to see you.
The commoners claim
Tiene una marca en el cuello.
Saskia's poisoning. They're looking to slaughter him.
El gonorrea.
Nobody to keep things peaceful.
Scalen Burden and his dwarves are trying to contain the mob, but they're badly outnumbered.
The plebs will yell a lot.
Tiene una
beat
marca en
someone
el
up and go
cuello.
home, as peasants do.
That'd be foolish. They're not serfs anymore. The days of them humbly sowing and reaping are gone.
Looks like things are getting nasty.
Y tiene pelito en el pecho.
Hear me!
Esas son mis prioridades.
What do you want? I'm Scalen Burden. I keep order in Vergen.
Or doing a nice job then? Where was you when they poisoned Saskia?
Give us the prince! Get the flails!
Stop!
Yorvith!
Squirrels! Everyone who wants to leave this yard in one piece, keep your hands off your weapons. I don't care if you're a serf or a lord. I'll kill you all if need be.
What's going on?
The servant carrying wine during the feast said that Prince Stennis and Olgan poisoned Saskia. We want justice!
You want revenge. It's not the same thing.
We don't care. Saskia's fallen as if dead, while the poisoning prince and noble lords rush to herd us onto the field and sell us to Henselt. We won't let them!
You lie, Colton. Nobody's being sold out. The poisoner must be caught and tried by law.
Your law? What then? He'll pay a fine and get spanked on his ass? We'll spank him all right, with an axe to the throat!
Where's this servant?
Safe. The Scoia'tael keep an eye on him.
Why is the prince hiding in his house if he's innocent?
Enough! I'll shoot the first to reach for a weapon. Then heads will start falling.
There's more of us. You can't kill every...
Then you'll be first. Now back off! We need to act quickly.
Uf, ¿cuál es el...? A ver si tiene alguno.
What's your plan?
I'll frighten them a little. Bleed them if need be. I'll buy you some time, but be swift. I can't hold them off for long. Question the peasants and the nobles, and talk to the dwarves. Maybe you can get to meet Stennis.
Even if he's guilty, I'm sure he's prepared a suitable story.
You'll know how to sort the sheep from the goats. Also, find the servant who started talking so suddenly. You won't have time to talk to everyone, though, that's for sure. Rolling down, you surly dog.
Vale, yo confío en mi tuerto. Yo confío. Ahora, con los reunidos en la plaza, no tienes mucho tiempo.
Say, Witcher, come over here.
This is nonsense.
What do you want?
We of noble birth always had to protect the plebs from their own stupidity. If not for us, the world...
I don't have time to listen to songs praising the nobility. Know anything about the attempt on Saskia's life?
No, I don't. But whatever the truth, the mob cannot lynch one of royal blood.
So truth means nothing to you. That's what makes us different.
I didn't say I don't care about truth. Just keep in mind there's a world order that mustn't be destroyed.
An order that allows injustice.
If the prince turns out to be involved in this attempted murder, he should face a tribunal. The rabble doesn't understand the principles ruling the world.
Or they do understand them and simply don't like them.
Saskia is a wise woman, but there's one thing she doesn't take into consideration. This war will be over one day. Who will sow the crops and milk the cows then? Saskia called the serfs to arms. Do you think they'll want to plough fields again?
You may be right, but it's certainly not my business who'll plough your fields. Farewell.
Give us this horsepower!
Tengo el dilema.
Rolling down, you
As
surly...
I see it, every princeling likes this.
Why is he lingering about? Like the stench in a dwarven hovel?
Those witchers be craving gold. This one's sure to say the prince is innocent, then sting Stennis for a pouch.
He better search for a lad who served the Virgin instead of pissing around.
Yeah, once done with the prince, he'd better take care of the magnets. Throwing their weight about too much they are.
What's it really all about? Who's backing you?
We want justice.
We don't need no one backing us. We knows what to do.
How would you punish the prince?
If a lad counts hens wrong, he'll be flogged. What should we then do with a man poisoning others?
Kill him.
A land without a ruler is a nightmare.
We have a ruler, the Virgin of Eden.
It's not certain she'll live.
Then we'll choose another who'll manage. But he must be one of us lads. That way he'll understand us.
And all people is gonna be equal, our way.
And the non-humans?
We have enough down on the fields. Let non-humans find a non-human land.
Away with them!
Joder, tío, esto es duro, ¿eh? El príncipe podía acceder a la bodega. Yo me imagino que sí, claro.
The prince stood right next to Saskia during the council. Did he have access to the wine cellar beforehand?
How should I know?
Why flap your mouth then?
The prince is a wealthy lord. Bribing a skillet
Claro.
to poison the wine is nothing to him.
Just because someone can afford gold teeth doesn't mean they'll pull their healthy ones.
Claro, tío. ¿Qué es eso?
You know Saskia's servant?
Willie of the Oblates. He handled the wine, indeed, but loves the Virgin like a sister and mother put together.
He'd gladly get quartered for her.
Where's this Willie of yours?
Hiding in his shack, afraid of them lords. Squirrels guard him.
Solon.
Farewell.
Give
Guilt
us
must
this
be
whole
proven.
flower.
Otherwise, it's vigilante justice.
I'd gladly hear your opinion on the situation.
Finally, someone reasonable. It's obvious Henselt bribed some serf who then did what he was told.
No creo, ¿eh?
Henselt couldn't possibly reach Vergen.
Doesn't he have sorcerers at his court? Or perhaps he hired a witcher to break through.
¿Qué
There's no
insinúa,
other
zorra?
explanation.
That's interesting.
Just think it through. The prince couldn't have done it. The wine was in plain sight. Only the servants touched the decanters, and who are they?
Es que no me fío del
Commoners.
penny, tío.
Then that same commoner incited his folk to stand against the nobles and the prince.
Something to think about.
No, tío, no, es que no me fío de...
Save your threats for your hog-smelling woman.
No, tío, es que no me fío del penny porque... No sé. A lo mejor él siendo noble... ve que Saskia tiene más apoyo popular que un noble, ¿no? Que como... básicamente es como... Saskia rompe un poco con el sistema establecido. Tiene sentido que hasta cierto punto quiera quitársela de encima. El momento, yo creo que el problema viene cuando ha elegido un mal momento de la hostia. Porque es como, por un lado están los Kaisweni que van a atacarlos, por otro está la niebla. ¿No crees que a lo mejor, de ser así, supongamos que es él? No sé, imagino que no es el mejor momento para quitarte a Saskia de en medio.
Farewell.
Give us this whole flower.
Rolling dung, you surly dog!
Otra vez salen los mismos.
Farewell.
If it was up to me, I'd line them all up again.
Things look bad. The peasants are furious. They finally have a chance to strike back for all their wrongs.
The noblemen won't yield.
No.
They're a cowardly lot.
They know their heads will follow Stennis's.
It's a deadlock, with the prince's guilt still to be proven.
Yarpin says it's someone from Edom. Sheldon, on the other hand, would shave his beard if it's not Hensel's spies.
¿Quién Aydrin podría haberlo hecho? Es que ¿por qué iba a hacerlo Hensel? Si básicamente tiene superioridad numérica. Y tiene el doble de todo de esta gente. Es como, ¿por qué no aplastarlos en batalla? Y sería como, no sé, en mi cabeza es como demasiado esfuerzo para algo que puede hacer. En un campo de batalla, me refiero.
Why would Sheldon suspect Henselt?
He'd sooner reach an agreement with Stennis than Saskia. Her death would be very convenient.
Bueno, sí, pero...
I'm wondering how anyone could manage to poison the wine. Saskia's a quick-witted lass. She doesn't let just anyone near. Someone she knew.
Oh, es que todo encaja. Han conseguido... Ay, no. Hombre, claro. Necesitaríamos su...
Anyone reached the prince in his chamber?
Not even close. The nobles guard him like a matron does her ward's hiney.
If the rabble slaughters the prince, there'll be no stopping them. They'll start doing things their own nasty way.
That's why the nobles will support the prince, even if they believe he's guilty.
I'm sure Stennis's hands are dirtier than a peasant girl's fucked in a barn.
Has Yarpen got any evidence?
No, Yarpen's an old cook and says he's got a feeling. Ploughing soothsayer.
He might be right with those feelings. After all, not just anyone can pass through the Wraith's
No,
nest.
échale di.
It has to be someone local.
So it never crossed your mind that Henselt might have sent someone here before those ghosts appeared.
Es que no sé, se me antoja tan... Es que se me antoja tan anodino.
Give us this horse-plower!
Rolling dung, you surly dog! You're a change. Rolling dung, you surly dog!
I want to speak with the prince.
You're unique then. Everyone else wants to tear him limb from limb.
Pero yo soy detective Gerardo.
Only I can help your prince.
Of course. Why didn't I think of that?
Are you mad?
Silence! I'm in command here, and I grant the Witcher leave to enter.
Please, master.
Are you here to kill me, Monster Slayer?
I'm here for your help. You can save Saskia.
Do you hear them? They want my head. They equate the words of some village idiot with mine. I am the heir to the Edirnian throne, the rightful ruler of this land, descendant of Demavend and Verferil.
Prince, if you help me heal Saskia, the people will forget.
If I don't help you, they'll kill me. This is blackmail.
This is a deal.
What do you want?
Es tentador.
Did you poison her?
Of course not. Even if I had, do you think I would boast about it? Don't be a fool.
I'm trying to help. Not only Saskia, but you, Your Highness.
I won't yield to that rabble. Never. One smear is all they needed to lay siege to my doorstep. Do you really think I should plead my innocence every time some village idiot says the prince did it? Or maybe go out there and beg them for mercy? Never.
You merely need to convince them that you're innocent. Prove it wasn't you and they'll walk away.
And if I am innocent, yet lack proof thereof? You claim you wish to help me. Do so. Convince the people to believe me. You'll not regret it.
You're trying to bribe me.
I want only to make a contract. Think about it.
Claro, me lo va a decir a cambio de...
I need royal blood for a potion that will heal Saskia.
Do you mock me?
You owe Saskia your life. She carried you away from the Wraith's battle.
It was her duty, as it would have been of any Edirnian. Besides, my realm is falling apart, and she is responsible. Saskia and her rebels routed the royal forces at Gillette and on the banks of the Dyffny. For practical purposes, the Edirnian army no longer exists.
Those rebels are the last hope you have of stopping Henselt.
And what then? A pig herd will be crowned and appoint a shoeshine his Secretary of State.
Don't think that far ahead. Your Highness, just a few drops of your blood will cure Saskia. Vergen can defend itself only if she's in command.
I've already said I owe this girl nothing. I'll not yield to blackmail even if it costs me my life. I'll go to the axe, my head held high. And I'll certainly not surrender even a drop of royal blood to save a peasant girl. Guards!
What is it, sire?
Show the Witcher out.
Is everything in order, sire?
We had a chat, but we are through. Think on what I told you, Geralt.
I will.
Save your...
Enough of this charade!
Try to be reasonable, folks. Sit down and talk in peace.
We've talked enough! Come on, lads, let's drag the prince from his hovel!
Vergen's not a cesspit for anyone to shit in. There are laws to abide, and Scalen Burden's job is to uphold them.
There's no law allowing a serf to threaten a king's scion. I, Silgrat, brother of Seltkirk, the greatest knight to walk Edirnian land, say so.
Does it matter who was born in a castle and who in a pigsty? Any fool can prejudge and condemn. It's easier to accuse than to prove guilt.
A peasant servant claims that Prince Stennis supposedly attempted to kill Saskia. Why would the prince do such a dastardly deed? Bear in mind how eminent is his lineage.
That's why! The mongrel covets the crown!
Do you even remember how valorous he was towards Saskia during the negotiations with Henselt?
Pretending to be with her he was, sly fox. Taking the simple peasants in. But us lads ain't so dumb as you lords think.
See for yourselves how the commoners hate the prince, spitting venom like adders. They hatched a plot to dispose of him.
Saskia's servant said that...
Where is this servant, might I ask? If he's got something to say, why does he hide like a thief? The answer is simple. He's a fraud.
He's hiding to save his skin from you, whoresons. Squirrels have to guard him.
One last question. How could the prince poison Saskia? It's a known fact that servants taste wine from the barrels before the virgin sips it.
Porque el veneno no estaba en el cántaro, sino que estaba en la copa de Saskia. ¡Ah! No es como... A ver, es una buena pregunta hasta cierto punto, pero es fácilmente demostrable. Yo qué sé, si a lo mejor a una hechicera le das la copa de Saskia, a lo mejor la analiza y ve que tiene trazas de veneno. Es que no es necesario que la barrica entera estuviera envenenada. Simplemente bastaría con echar el vino en una copa ya envenenada, por así decirlo. Entonces cualquiera, por ejemplo, si la copa está a la vista, está allí en la sala de reuniones, cualquiera de los allí presentes, tímidamente, como quien no quiere la cosa, podría haber envenenado. Aunque claro, ¿cómo va a saber que la copa de Saskia es la copa de Saskia? No. Pero no, tío, que le den por culo al Penny, que le den por culo.
It's not clear how the prince poisoned the wine, but that doesn't mean he didn't do it.
Stannis is blowing hot and cold.
Eso es
Everyone
verdad.
knows that.
You were supposed to prove his guilt, not insult him, yokel.
Tell us who else would do it. A peasant wanting to hurt the miss? Never. It's cause of her you
Eso es
know the
verdad.
dogs can't ignore us. A pig won't cut its own throat. A peasant's not foolish enough to raise his hand against his savior.
Perhaps it is no peasant's deed. However, that doesn't mean the prince is guilty, fool.
Answer me this. Was not Stannis' room next to Saskia's? Do not the wines come from his own lice-ridden cellar? Can he not enter the Virgin's kitchen at will? Yes. His serene Damed the Prince can curses on his kin. Nobody in Vergen wants to kill Saskia. And even if they wanted, nobody but Stannis could do it.
It appears Stennis would benefit the most from Saskia's
Hombre,
death.
técnicamente sí. Pero es que me cae mal. Que le den por culo. Me cae como...
This is dangerous.
I am not afraid. Fear is a commoner's trait, unfit for one with royal blood running in his veins. What do you want, to judge me? Is a prince a common thief who steals a dozen eggs at the market? You stand before royal majesty, and you raise your hands against
Pero
it.
¿para qué vienes aquí,
In this world there are
estúpido?
crimes that can be forgiven, and crimes that, by any means, cannot. Just as a mother killing her own child, or a man slitting his own brother's throat cannot be forgiven. A crime against one anointed by the gods themselves also cannot be condoned. He who raises hand against divine right is not worthy to walk this world. And what about he who poisons the Virgin of Eden? Firstly, Saskia is alive, so no one can blame me for her death. Secondly, you have no proof that it was I who tried to murder her. And thirdly, I assure all gathered here, I won't rise above the law. However, only she, the Virgin of Eden, can judge me. Can it? And if Saskia won't get well, who's gonna judge you?
Yo.
I believe she can be cured. But if the gods decide otherwise, we'll summon a coven of the wise who can pass just sentence.
Those are words worthy of a true sovereign.
Cállate.
I am the one you should look to for guidance. Let my deeds be the flame that lights up your darkness.
So you've forgotten how you tried to bribe me when I was at your house?
How about that, snout face?
This is slander.
There are no witnesses, Witcher.
You didn't say a word about your guilt or innocence. You demand justice. You want to summon a coven of the wise. But who will sit on that coven? Any peasants? No, only people you'll nominate yourself. Lords whom you'll reward with lands for reaching the right decision. Such men are to decide if you're guilty? No, you are guilty, Prince. You know you are.
A tomar por culo. Pero será gilipollas, tío. Nota. Venga ya, hombre. Toma por culo. Ahí, bien muerto que está. Ahora, Gerardo, de toda esa sangrecita coges así. Coges un poquito. ¡Perfecto, Gerardo! ¡Coño! ¡Sí, señor! ¡Perfecto, Gerardo! Perfecto.
The nobles won't forgive them that.
Perfecto.
They're a cowardly lot. Yelping's all they're good at.
And backstabbing.
By Stennis's example. His filthy life wasn't taken in vain. Eilhart will get royal blood, and Saskia will be cured.
We need to hurry. We can't keep peace in Vergen with strength alone.
Anything's possible using strength. One just has to know how to use it.
That's your credo?
Saskia's the best leader I know, but she can't hope to defeat Henselt with this rabble.
What do you intend to do?
I'll get reinforcements. The Scoia'tael are more numerous than you think. Time to summon them. I'll leave shortly.
You won't get through the fog.
I don't intend to. Mountains may stop human armies, but not the Scoia'tael. I'm going south.
Will you be back in time?
I have to. Va fail, Gwynblade. Don't lose hope.
Es que, cara huevo. Anda, espada de tenis. Anda, anda, que Dios te lo manda. Como la espada del Penny sea una mierda, la voy a dejar por ahí, ¿eh? 22. ¿22, 16 y esta hace? Y me llevo tu espada. ¿Por qué? Porque puedo.